Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Grapplers Academy. We're back today talking about more fundamental concepts that are going to help you level up your game and help you better at passing more so today. So if you've not watched the other videos in the series, go and check those out. We'll leave the link in the description to go and check out some of the concepts we were talking about distance management and starting to set up and pass in your style.
And also sort of going into, as well as your style, but the guard you want to pass. So not letting the person on bottom dictate where you go, whether that's picking the side you pass on, which kind of guard you enter into, and all sorts from there.
Today we're going to talk about a concept that kind of transcends just passing, and we talk about it a lot. You might have heard us talk about it on the podcast, and having multiple different avenues of attack off what initially seems like one entry. This applies across the board, doesn't it? And it's a great way of developing that system that we talk about having different branches off the main trunk of the tree to attack from, and it gives you different options depending on what your opponent's reactions are, or you can kind of bait for the reaction that you want and get them to overcommit on one side. So the way that we're going to play that today is by looking at entering on a knee slice pass, and then also having the option to sit into a back step and start to play your leg entanglements in from there. So we showed this the other week, so if you want to go back and check out the original video on how we enter in here, we were talking about controlling that inside line and using the collar tie and using the forearm to be able to push your opponent, and we showed how to set that up for a knee slice attack. Now, depending on how good our opponent is at shielding with this knee and blocking me from doing a step back, I might just have to continue with this knee slice pass in this direction, which is the one that I've originally set up. If what we might get though, a reaction sometimes is like a little bit less of a commitment on that, and if we're going too hard on here and you've left the knee down low, yes, once I've got this first opportunity that I'm going for the knee slice pass, but I've also got a different avenue of attack if I can't get through here. If he's doing a good job, I don't think you can quite see on the camera there, so he's grabbing my foot, which is just going to limit my ability to move through freely there if I get my words out. But what we've got is another option to step back in on here. So I'm selling this attack going this way, I'm fighting to go on that and giving him the idea in his head that I'm going in this line of direction, and that's what I want. But then at the time that I feel right, that I've got the space, I can step back and start to sit into a leg entanglement game and play that, and I've passed the guard that way and gotten into a position where I can start to attack straight away. So the main ideas with these sorts of concepts is having enough of a sell on the original technique that you're going for, and I think that concept sometimes gets confused, doesn't it, between selling it without the intention of going for it. Of course we can always go straight for the thing that we're working for, but we've always got to have a step B to go off that. So if I just go in and half-heartedly sell this, I want it, and then go for my back step straight away, Sai's going to have his guard up and I'm not going to be able to get in on that. I'm probably going to end up getting my back taken this way. So when we come in, we've really got to commit and sell and try and make him think that I can get the pass. If I get the pass and the defence isn't good, great, I can come straight through and hit that knee slice, and now I'm in a position of advantage. But if I come through and he starts doing a good job of defending, but drops that knee because he thinks I want this and he doesn't have to worry about this side, that's the time that I can step back and start to take my B game or the game that I want to set up next.
Yeah, it's a concept that I talk about quite a lot with guys like Coach at Hive as well. With if you're trying to throw a feint, you need to make the feint convincing enough. So always go into that sort of first attack with full intention to make the first attack work, but then having that back pocket entry there, so if the first attack doesn't work, they fully commit to defending to that, and then the second attack becomes that much easier. Like Kadan did this really nicely against Dinnies 2 weekends ago, so it's worth trying to find a highlight or a clip of that as well.
The same concepts are true in striking as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, if anybody's done striking, we know the idea of selling a jab effectively to open up space out of body shots or to make the leg striking more available. But if your opponent knows that you're not really trying to commit on that jab, it's not going to be threatening enough for them to warrant putting up an appropriate defence. And kind of the same for standing in jiu-jitsu as well. You know, if you're trying to set up one particular takedown, but you're faking with a double leg or a single leg to get them to drop the level, if they know you're not really going to go for it, they're not actually going to worry about it and defend it in the way that you want them to. So you've got to get used to throwing shots, hitting your singles and doubles in an effective manner to get the reaction that you want, and it's exactly the same for the ground game as well. It's just having those options in your mind, and like Si says, in your back pocket to be able to go for them when the opportunity presents itself, because it's going to be a small window where you can switch from option A to option B, and it's being aware of that quick enough to be able to capitalise before your opponent realises what you're doing and puts up an appropriate defence.
Definitely, and the more you play like that, the quicker your reaction will be to those second options, and then eventually you'll have a third option on the back of that, and then a fourth option, and then down the line you'll have just an endless chain of secondary attacks which will come off the back of your opponent defending. But you have to get experience and get that sensitivity to be in that position and having that second attack there to recognise the signals when they open up, and also having that quickness to pull the trigger and go straight for it.
So get the reps in, start developing your game, use these ideas and start to build your passing style, your attacking style, your defensive style. Just get the reps in on your opponents. Now we can get back on the mats. Check out the previous videos in the series as well. We've got a couple of different setups that lead on from what we've talked about here today. Everything's at the Grapplers Academy on Google and YouTube. The podcast is also up on there on Spotify, Apple, and all the other places that you're going to find the podcast as well. Coached by Si on Instagram and the Bonafide PT if you want to hit us up separately from the Grapplers Academy, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you.